All right, good morning. We're just doing a little test to make sure the video is up and running on Facebook this morning. Y'all know sometimes we have a few little technical glitches and technical difficulties as we get Zoom and Facebook to play together. Not sure that they've had their coffee this morning, though I just poured myself my third cup of coffee. Tina, can you find us?
Yep, we are good.
We're
We are
good.
live. Welcome to the Angel and Tina Morning Show.
Oh, hold on. I'll do it officially so then we can edit this. Ready? Good morning and welcome to the Angel and Tina Morning Show. We have some fabulous guests in their virtual studios in with us today. Tina, how are you?
Good morning, Angel. Tuesday. It is Tuesday, and today is the Connect Summit 8. I'm so excited. It's going to be a long day for us, but we have some amazing speakers, so I'm so excited. And we have some pretty big wigs in the house today.
We do. This is so fun. What a fabulous day. This is our 8th virtual summit that we are hosting this afternoon. Come and hang out with us 1 p.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern time. We have a full lineup of speakers every month. We bring you 10 or so speakers, about a dozen speakers who just come and pour into you and just find a way to connect in these really interesting times. And you all know we kicked off our very first Connect Virtual Summit 10 days into the pandemic, 28 speakers over 2 days. And from that, the Angel and Tina Morning Show was our spin-off of that show. How many shows have we done now, Tina?
This is almost 150.
Almost 150 episodes. Now we are sponsored, globally syndicated, but the most important show is the one we're getting ready to do right now. Brynn, Kathy, we're so excited to have you here. Kathy, where are you from?
Calling in from Denver, Colorado. Gorgeous morning.
Are you here in Denver?
Yes, love it.
Me too.
We should do.
Have we ever met in person?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Tina's like,
we should.
You're losing your mind. A little bit. So where do you live?
In Lakewood on the west side. Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm in Highlands Ranch. Well, today I'm in Highlands Ranch.
Tomorrow she could be somewhere else. Next week she could be somewhere else, and next month she could be somewhere else.
So so Brynn, how about you? Where are you coming to us from?
I am in Mississippi, and I have a missing tooth to prove it. I always have to show people my missing Mississippi tooth. That's what I call it.
I like it.
And I'm barefoot, so.
And you're barefoot. At least your feet, the bottom of your feet aren't dirty.
For the moment, they're not.
You do not look like a Mississippi chick, that's for sure. You look like
it's funny.
LA.
I'm actually originally from California, but I moved here when I was 18, and so now I sound like a Southerner, so I just roll with it.
Where did you grow up?
I am from the Los Angeles area, Palmdale, California. If you know Afro Man, you've probably heard about Palmdale. If you don't know Afro Man, then you probably haven't heard about Palmdale.
I'm from San Diego, and Angel's from California as well. So we both grew up there.
That's awesome.
Okay, where's Graceland?
Graceland is in Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee, because you are wearing your little velvet
I got my Elvis jacket
on today. Okay, so what took you to Mississippi?
So I actually got a full ride volleyball scholarship to play at the University of Southern Mississippi, which is funny because when I first came here, like their volleyball wasn't a thing really in Mississippi. Like they were just starting it in the high schools and stuff. So they always recruited. Obviously, California is a big state for volleyball. And then I just, it was my first time as an adult away from my parents, and I kind of grew into myself in the South and stayed, met my husband, and now I'm a Mississippi girl.
Now you're a Mississippi girl. The little girl
across her missing too.
Yeah. I gotta keep it that way so I can fit in.
Yeah, the little girl.
All these Southerners that are on watching, they're all hate.
Yeah, the neighbor across the street, when my girls were little, she went to college on a full volleyball scholarship too, and
that's super cool.
She just loved it. Okay, but you've just recently moved, right?
Yes, but in the same town. Okay. So we lived in a great neighborhood, but our dream was always to live on a lake.
Hmm.
my husband wanted to fish out of the backyard. And so we found, it was a total God thing. We found our perfect dream home, and now we're on a lake and it's beautiful.
All right. Well, speaking of perfect dream homes and a God thing, we've lived in our house for 21 years, raised our babies
Wow.
here. And 4 days ago, we put the house on the market. And last night we signed a contract. So we are now under contract and we are going to move to Florida. And
Oh my gosh. It's gonna be a lot warmer.
Angel.
The Tussies are moving to Florida.
they are moving to Florida. Well, my two girls work full time at Disney. And so they're in Orlando. My son has just been waiting for them to open back up hiring processes and also wants to go and work at Disney. So we're just taking it one step at a time. Didn't think the house, we haven't sold a house. We've done this in over 20 years. So don't really know the process. And yes, we're just taking it one step at a time, but they want to be in the house at the end of the month. So we got to hightail it out of here.
So last week when she decided to do this, she said, Tina, cause she was, she was like, oh my God, I'm going to sell my house. And I said, you're going to have an offer on Sunday. I'm going to manifest it. You're going to have an offer on Sunday. And then she kept saying the last couple of days, there's a family who are praying for this house. There's a family who is praying for this house, who wants to build a family and wants to start a family. Can you share that a little bit?
I did say that, because we raised our kids here. Michael was 2 and he's 23. He'll be 23 tomorrow. And so this house needs a family, and there's somebody out there praying. And so this couple wrote us a letter with the offer saying, they've just been married a few years. They're looking for a house they can raise their family in, where they can walk their kids to school. Jay and I were just bawling in the kitchen. We were just, it was just such a miracle and such an answer to everything we've been asking for and praying for. So
isn't God amazing how he works like that? We prayed about the same thing, because we loved our home before. We lived on the corner of 2 cul-de-sacs. My kid, he loved that neighborhood. And I was praying for our family as well. And the first day we put it on the market, we got a full price offer from a beautiful family. And I'm so excited for them to have that home, because it's special,
It is. It was so, and yeah, Jay and I we were fine. We're all excited. We're like, okay, this is good. This is great. And then we read the letter. We're just like, oh my goodness. But like a couple weeks ago, God is so good. He's just like up there. And we talk about mosaics. You guys, if you ever think about like a mosaic, it's like broken pottery, a bunch of broken pottery, and they put it all together to make something like a really beautiful design. But they're all like individually just these little random little pieces of pottery or glass. And I said, this is really how, what we think, this is God's life, right? Like he has these little seemingly random moments. You don't even realize, like you meet this person or this happens here. But when you look back, I told Jay this morning, I said, had we not gone to Orlando and found a house, we would not have moved. Like we wouldn't have had the urgency or anything to move, but he had to get us to Florida, and he did it in a way that was an emergency, but not an emergency, right? Like my daughter
didn't even wake you up a little bit. Like you didn't even, like her and her son were like, okay, rock, paper, scissors, who's going with dad?
Yeah, I didn't
have too much going on.
Right, but my daughter's car, she's in Florida, the brakes went out on her car, and we had it towed to the mechanic, and it was just going to cost more to fix than the car was really worth. It was an older car. And so that was on Friday morning. We realized it's going to be more expensive. Jay asks her, what do you want? He goes on Craigslist here in Colorado, goes and looks at a car, takes it to our mechanic, goes and buys the car. That's all on Friday. On Saturday morning, we drove it to Orlando.
Oh.
Let my son and I rock, paper, scissors of who has to go with dad.
Right? And not only that, but the ride there also gave you a whole other perspective on what you can do with your business.
He did. Total download.
The traveling there was able to create this, spiraling effect of you putting your house on the market. But 2 months ago, God was already preparing you, because 2 months ago, she was like, we're going to start decluttering. We're going to start getting rid of stuff. We went down in the basement and I started selling all this and I sold this and I sold that. And I'm like, you're not going to have nothing left. And
Oh,
then
we have
like,
plenty. We have plenty. We've been in the house 20 years.
last month you started, you know, remodeling and painting and doing a couple, you know, little things to, you know, fix up your house. So he had already like had these little things like, I'm going to prepare you. You don't know this yet, but I'm going to prepare you.
Yeah, it is. And then when you just see his favor, right, you're just like in awe and completely humbled. So yeah, so that all happened like last night, 9 o'clock, signed the contract for the house. So we're kind
Breaking
of
news this morning.
It is breaking news. And I told Jay, I said, oh, I'm so glad we have the summit today. Because even though it's an all-day event, it's just one thing for me to focus on like the whole day. I can just focus on this one thing and not everything else that would have to be going on. So it's going to keep me centered. It's going to keep me focused. And yeah, so I'm super excited to have both you gals. So Kathy, how long have you been in your house?
I've been here 13 years and it's kind of a God story too. I wasn't even looking. I was a Florida girl, by the way. I still had my place down in Deerfield Beach because I just moved to Colorado because I was called to. I just wanted a fresh start and just love the mountains. My half heart is half mountain and half beach girl. And I wasn't looking and I just knew that if I was going to stay here, I had to have some water nearby. And I ended up finding the creek first, Bear Creek, and drove by one day. There was a sign for open house and I walked it up and the lady was putting a sold sign on it. I'm like, what are you doing selling my house before I've even checked it out? And she said, oh, it's fine. And I said, do you mind if I walk in? And I walked in and I'm like, yep, this is it. So it's a townhouse. So I didn't get that specific unit, but just like you, I found the new place before I was ready to let go of the old. And it wasn't intentional of anything. It just was like, okay, the wheels started turning and there was no turning back. And there was lots of reasons why it should not have happened. But when you get that knowing in your heart, it's as good as done. You know, I love those stories.
Yeah,
You know, and it's when you're in the I love hearing them from other people and you see it but when you're like in the middle of one, you're like, oh wow, like there's a lot happening here. And yeah, so it's kind of
hold on tight, Angel.
Yeah.
The train is going fast.
it is going fast. Okay, so Brynn, when did you move into this house that you're in now?
Yeah, so we've been here now for just about a month. It's still really new, and it's funny because we hadn't moved in a while either, and you forget just how much stuff needs to be done, right? Like you think, okay, we moved in, we're good, but it's been a fun wild ride.
You have a full house today.
Yes.
What's all going on in your house today?
Yeah, so it's been crazy. We actually, like you were talking about selling stuff off, we decided to literally sell everything that we had. And so when we moved in, it was this really cool experience because I got to hire an interior designer and she got to design the whole house. But because of obviously things that are happening in the world right now, things are a little bit harder to get. So it's like our house is still only like 50% full. You can hear the echo. But right now, currently at this exact moment, I have a wallpaper guy doing an accent. I have a guy hanging guitars upstairs for my husband, and my interior designers like walking around measuring stuff and installing stuff. So it's not too loud in the background, but it's exciting. Every day has been exciting. There's literally, I don't think there's been a day since we've moved in that there hasn't been somebody here doing something.
But you got your goddess chair to command the world from. So I love the chair.
My chair.
Yeah, I love that chair.
It's all about the chair. Did you guys ever watch Sex and the City? Did you guys ever get into that? Do you remember when, maybe it was in the movie, but she was looking for the desk, right? Like they were shopping and she's like, it's all about the desk because as soon as I find the desk, then everything will build around it. For Brynn, it's all about the chair, right? I've got the chair.
I think that is true for most people right now. It is all about the chair because you're in your chair all day long. On Zoom and on coaching calls and all this stuff, so you're in the chair. And so I think it is all about the chair. You have to be comfortable.
It has to be. I pretty much
have to look good.
Molded myself to. I know I do like that little the little wings, like the
angel wings.
They are like angel wings. They are like angel wings. Jay was asking me, Angel, do you want to bring your chair? Because we're going to do the same thing, Brynn. We're going to sell all the furniture here because, I don't know if it's going to fit.
Don't
Like,
want to move it all the way to Florida.
right?
That
So
was a pain in the hiney.
he did. He's like, well, do you want your office chair? I'm like, I can find a new chair. I'm sure I'll find a new chair. It'll be fine. But I do like my chair, but I like your chair.
Yeah,
I need
I
We need to see the full thing once you go up. We need to get pictures because I can just see the bottom of it being so comfortable.
Yeah, you'll have to post a picture,
It's all cushy. It's like that Tempur-Pedic. It fits my wide load butt on it.
Our Zoom butt. Yeah, it's our Zoom butt, right? So I don't know if I told you, Tina, I did my 100th Peloton ride.
Oh, I just got one. I can't wait to get it. I'm so excited. Do you love it?
I love it. I do love it.
Are you taking your Peloton with you to Florida?
Oh, the Peloton's coming. We bought it back in February for my husband. He's a cyclist. And because every time we would come home from traveling, because I was traveling as a speaker, it would always be snow on the ground or ice on the ground, and he couldn't ride his bike. So we decided to get the Peloton. Well, COVID hit and gym shut down and everything.
Yeah.
I started riding it, and I had set a goal. I wanted to hit my 500th mile by my 50th birthday, which was in July. And on my 50th birthday, I did 550.
Awesome.
Since then, I've been a little lazier, right? I've been only doing
Well,
a
you
couple
only
times
had a couple things going on since July. I mean, you're
Right.
moving and selling your house and all this kind of stuff now.
Yeah, we've been a little busy, but I did just hit my 100th ride on the
Okay.
Peloton. So I'm super stoked, and I should ride it more often. It's so much fun. It's so easy. You're going to find your favorite trainer.
Gosh.
So yesterday when we got the offer, and our realtor was going to come over and go over it, I'm like, okay, I got all this adrenaline. I got to go. And I did a 15-minute country ride. I'm like, perfect. That'll just
I love it. So I just ordered mine like 2 days ago. So obviously I'm waiting for it, but I've been doing some of the classes. I go to a bar studio and I love bar, even though it's literally the most painful thing.
Oh, they have bar classes now. Have you seen the bar classes with Ali Love? And
I haven't got on them yet, but I did a power yoga class the other day.
I need to get
And
one of these.
I got out of it was only 30 minutes and I was sweating. And my husband was like, what is wrong with you? Why are you walking out of your room sweating? I'm like, I just literally died on this job. And I'm in shape. I'm fit. That girl got me good, man.
oh,
Okay, so the Peloton app has other exercises that you don't need a Peloton bike for?
yeah,
Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to get it now because
Yeah.
I don't have a Peloton bike.
everything. Yeah.
I keep saying the Peloton needs to be one of the Angel and Tina Morning Show sponsors.
Well, there you go. There you go. We just I mean, hello.
Manifest it, Angel, manifest it.
I know these days it's like we've got a direct line.
Yep.
All right, well, let's get to know our guest just a little bit better, more officially. Kathy, we're going to start with you. I'm going to read your little bio here. She is a women's transformational coach, energy healer, passionate about empowering women at that pivotal point in their lives when their previous roles fall away. They are ready to rediscover themselves and write an exciting, soulful next chapter. Oh, I love that. I can think of a lot of women that fit that description. She guides women to achieve accelerated results by aligning with the divine feminine energy, allowing them to show up differently, prioritize their own self-care, feel at home again in our bodies, find greater self-expression and creativity, and make that ultimate shift from being a reactor in life to becoming a powerful creator of a life that's magical and meaningful. Her signature course, La Femme Salon, 10 Weeks to Find Your Fire, Freedom, and Fulfillment, guides women to make the ultimate shift from being a reactor in their lives to being a powerful creator. She's passionate about bringing more joy to the world by empowering women to find theirs. Kathy, I think there's a whole lot of women listening to going, that's me, that's me, that's me. That just kind of happens at a certain stage of life, right?
Yeah. And the women here are we're models. I think there's a whole generation of us women that are in this stage, all those old roles and labels and categories that we've put ourselves into and judged ourselves as to whether we did or didn't fit in. It's like, we can just cast those aside. And Brynn, would you mind flashing your shirt? Because I think it's a perfect, it says,
Oh, yeah, baby.
I want. So it's all about living life on our terms at this point in time. And women have this, it's in us to want to nurture, but it's time for us to nurture ourselves first, but then reconnect with that who we are and the bigger role. We've got this whole next exciting, juicy chapter that we can create next. And magic happens. Look at all the magic stories that we shared already this morning. Like, it happens at the speed of awareness of like, yeah, I can have this, or I want this, I can have this. As soon as we remove all the old garbage, the negative thoughts and beliefs and emotions that kind of kept it sticky to maybe I can't have it, all the doubt, not feeling worthy and deserving. It's like, just clear that away. And
Kathy, you said a phrase there that I just want to like put a little pin in it. It happens at the speed of awareness. I think like you just kind of flew over that and like went into something else. But like that is a profound statement. If you really think about like, and we talk about become obsessed with what you want, you get what you think about most of the time. It happens at the speed of awareness. Where did you hear that?
Just here.
Like in my head.
Yeah, and from life experience, how quickly you can come to an awareness about the story you were making up about something, the meaning you were assigning to, and a lot of this stuff, that emotional garbage comes back from those formative childhood days when our brains weren't mature enough to segment out that was somebody else's, mom was having a bad day, dad's a crumb, it doesn't, we make things.
The crumb.
Yeah, well, a couple of us might have had crummy dads. So that was certainly my story for a long time. And it at the point of which you can come to the awareness, like I can remember the day that I stopped dating. I was emotionally unavailable as a protective mechanism from the crummy dad story. And I dated emotionally unavailable men, which was perfect because I kept in a cycle of having guys cheat on me. And because I had this wall against it, I was creating the same exact pattern I was trying to save myself from. And I remember the day I was just like, it happened again. I don't want to do that again. It's not fun. It's not working for me. And I went to an energy healer who helped me just clear up I think of it like a magnetic resonance when you cut the cord with that old thing and make a new choice. Just like you said, become obsessed with what you want. You know what? No, I deserve love. And obviously it starts with us, but yeah, it's powerful, powerful.
I think a lot of women at that age, at that time in their life where, whether they're getting a divorce or their kids are moving out or whatever it is, they go through this like transformation.
Mhm.
And I think everybody needs that help to get through it. I know you just interviewed me on your platform. So you know my story, but when I went through all of my stuff and all like in a 6-month period of time, it really took a toll on who I thought I was. Because, you take away that wife title, you take away that mom title, you take away that, corporate title, all those titles, and you're just like left with yourself and you're like, well, who am I? You got to find who you are. And I think a lot of women go through that.
Yeah, and divorce was a great learning experience. You get that chance to remember the thought that popped into my head. Well, now who's going to tell me what to think? And I was like, oh,
I can think for myself.
So
Well, it's so interesting because, just this morning, as Jay and I are celebrating kind of our good news, I got news of a friend of ours. They filed for divorce last week. And I said to Jay, like, I know couples who have gotten to this season of life, right? The kids are gone and, they've moved into like their next home, like they're going into that next season. And in a very short period of time, they are no longer together. And I kind of freaked out this morning. I'm like, tell me this is not like the path that I'm opening up, that I just opened up this can of worms. And he's like, no, Angel, it's a mosaic. It's God's mosaic.
And I think it's
Okay.
an
Yeah,
opportunity.
I definitely don't think that way about you and Jay, because you guys have this amazing marriage. And I know it wasn't always perfect, but I really think that when you go through that empty nesting, you don't know who each other are. You know, you're the mom, you're the dad. Okay, now who are we? You know, oh wait, what are you doing here? What are we supposed to do together?
It really goes to show too why it's so important to continue to date your spouse, right? Because I feel like us women, we get so busy. Like we have all the things that we need to get done every single day. And, you know, because I'm right in the middle of that momhood time of life. My kid is 11, you know. And so one thing that I know that my husband and I try really hard to do is make sure that we have that one-on-one time that we are spending with each other, and also one-on-one time spending, you know, with ourselves. Because just like you said, if when you get to that point, and this is what I hear a lot of women when they hit that time of life, is they don't even know who they are anymore, because that's all that they were in their own mind, was a wife and a mom. And then all of a sudden your kids are gone and you're like, do I even know who I am? Do I even know who he is? You know, it's so important to be intentional. And I know that that's one of the things that I teach so much because of past times in my life, is having that intentional time in everything you do, whether it's with your work or with your spouse or it's with your kids, having that intentional time, because it helps you understand who you are, who they are, and it helps you be fulfilled in so many areas instead of just attaching yourself to one thing. And then what happens if that one thing gets taken away? Then who are you?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's such a great way to structure it. I think, you know, we're like the spiritual beings having this human moment, and I think we need those times away, like take the day, but like as you said, create that intentional vision of who you want to be. And we're always in the state of evolving and becoming, and then to have times of practices, rituals that ingrain that every single day of touching base with that vision, like how am I doing? And I really like to celebrate the wins. And one of the things we do in La Femme Salon is it's happening, and that reticular activating system in our brain is actually like, all right, it's happening. So we feel good, our confidence raises, our worthiness raises, but then we start seeing other examples of the proof of how it is happening and how there is good in the world and how we are good and we're doing good. So it's, you know, simple little practices, but, you know, self-care, especially for women. You know, I think we've been taking care of everybody else. And there's a evolutionary shift, like this divine feminine that's coming in, that's actually upside downing some of these old beliefs. It's imperative now that we take care of ourselves. So consider yourself with a permission slip. I'm handing it over now to take care of yourself. You know, we're waiting for
I'm
somebody.
glad you said that, because you know that saying that we always hear, you can't pour from an empty cup. I always hated that saying, because it always made me think, okay, so I can only pour into myself in order to pour into other people. Which basically is saying that pouring into me isn't important in itself. But what I found over, you know, my entire adult life is that the more I pour into myself, the more personal development that I do, the more I try to better myself. You know, in turn, yes, I'm bettering other people, but I still get to have me and who I am.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I think that we are natural nurturers, right? Taking care of, but remember that it's okay to take care of us, like it not at the sake of us, and we don't have to put ourselves on the back burner, like instead of us, like, you know, go do you, be you.
I think we had a guest on a couple of weeks ago who went on vacation by herself, like once or twice, you know, every other month or whatever. And she said, you know, the kids asked her, you know, where are you going? She's like, mommy's going to go become a better mommy.
Ooh,
I was like, oh, I like that.
It
Because,
is
you
true.
know,
Like the more, like if it's that phrase, you know, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right? Like be happy. And the happier you are, right? The more, and there's, you know, it's replenishes, right? It's self-fulfilling, and I can give that to you, and it, you know, and then it kind of comes back, and yeah, it self-fulfills.
Intentional creation around that too. Because right now you look around with everything that's been happening. my key word for this lifetime is joy. And you look at the joy factor right now, and even like you said, Brynn, the people who are typically positive and have these good practices, it's a tough time out there. So just remember, we don't have joy. We get to generate joy, and just by being intentional, looking for ways around us, there's always something, Miss Gratitude, right, that we can be grateful for in this moment. And those practices, like get Tina's journal, that it's those high vibing
I'll
emotions.
send you a check afterwards for my promotion.
Okay. Yeah, it's essential. Those practices are essential. The more time you spend nurturing those emotions like love and joy and gratitude, law of attraction's working all the time, whether you're plugging in or not. So when you allow yourself, your focus to be dragged down by the current, the characters and the storylines that are going down right now, you let that sink, and that's where you're going to start attracting from. And it's pretty quick, because that happens at this pretty quick too. So yeah, what can you be happy?
Kathy, what are some tips that you can give to our audience members to get themselves to be intentional, to create that intentional?
One of the best things I think is the morning ritual. And, everybody's going to say, we've heard that. But honestly.
But just because you've heard it, or have you mastered it? Are you doing it?
Are you implementing it?
And have you mastered it? Like that's great that you've heard it, but let's back the bus up.
Yeah. And maybe you've been good at it at a time, but how are you today? How are you today? And so honestly, the self-care thing, and so I'm going to do a selfless plug, taking a moment to set aside and nurture that vision of what you want. And then that ritual in the morning. I like meditation. To me, meditation is about opening the doorway for, prayer is when we speak to God and say, hey, I would like this, that, or the other thing, but meditation is when we get the divine God download. And when we're able to elevate our level of consciousness above the storyline, all the current drama, it's like all of this is changing. We get to elevate and see that part of this is a storyline that's knowing these old triggers, the emotional wounds are all coming up right now to be healed. So when you create a morning ritual that starts with the grounding in gratitude and visiting that vision that you have for your life, celebrating the ways in which it's happening, honor your body with food that nourishes it, not all the time, 80% chocolate every day.
But chocolate is nourishing. Chocolate is nourishing. I've read the stories.
You gotta ask these big wigs around here, like the 7-figure, the 6-figure earners, what are you doing every day? And they're gonna tell you, I start every day with a morning routine. I do this, 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 and this. And you're like, oh, what do you do every day? I start my day with a morning routine. I do this, 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 and that. It might be a few other things, but it's always almost the same thing. Gratitude, making your bed every day, doing your meditation and prayer, doing a visualization process, writing your I am statements. It's always, a set of like 7 or 8 different things. Yeah. Working out, it's always a set. And you always find those people who are up here, they always have that morning routine, and it's down pat, no matter what.
Yeah.
That's really, that I don't know if I ever really thought about that, because as I was listening to Kathy speak and then listening to you talk about that, I am like, every morning I set my alarm 10 minutes before I have to get up. I spend my first 5 minutes in prayer and gratitude. I spend my second 5 minutes in surrender, because once again, we can show up, we can do the things, we can be grateful, but at the end of the day, we have no control over anything other than ourselves. And so surrendering it back to him, it grounds me and it centers me for the rest of my day. And I find when I get busy and I skip it, the rest of the day feels awful and out of control. And
you're like, why is today so bad?
Yes. You're like, and then you realize what it was that you skipped. And so I love that you brought that up, Kathy.
Yeah. Kathy, what is it that you do every morning that, no matter what, you do it?
Me?
I know you have a morning routine that you
Yeah, absolutely. It starts with gratitude. I visualize of it just like we've got 9 trillion cells in our body, and I just love creating that marinade. I love the visioning of almost like bubbly champagne energy just coming in and a washing. My vision board is in my bathroom where I'm brushing my teeth, so I visit that with a visuals picturing of what I do. I enjoy walking in the park with my dog. I keep my heart open. I think that's one of the big challenges for our time right now is to be able to be grounded in that ability to enter into any situation with our heart open rather than putting up the dukes or putting up the walls. It's like, what if we could all live just with barriers down and be fully present for one another right now. So then I do, I'm a video junkie for workouts. So I'll do some of those. And then I, like a nourishing breakfast is part of my self-honoring of my body. So that's pretty much it. And I believe, the evening routine could be just as valuable just before you go to bed, because 8 hours, I think, again, we're marinating our body, our cells in some kind of message, and we're about to turn that conscious mind off. So we've got 90% of what's happening is happening in our subconscious. So if you can deliberately create a routine where now you're setting an intention, and again, I'm doing a gratitude, writing a full page with binaural beats happening. And, if something's got me up, I'll do a Ho'oponopono kind of forgiveness prayer kind of a thing. And then you drift off to sleep, you marinate for 8 hours. And oftentimes you'll find the better you do at setting up your sleep time, the easier it is to wake up in that, woohoo, life is good. Because literally your body's going to pick up, there's hormones waiting in the morning for that message of, is this, is the world ending? Is this a day of fight or flight, or are we open for positivity, gratitude, and good stuff, open to receive all the good that's available to us? And I can tell you that we all moment to moment have that ability to choose to be open to receive the good, because there's always good, regardless of what the circumstances that are pointing to. We can do it. And like you said,
I love that you start your day and you start your day with gratitude and end it the same way, because that is exactly what I teach. My journal is all about that. You start your day with 5 minutes of gratitude and you end your day with 5 minutes of gratitude. And that's all it takes is 10 minutes a day, and it can completely change your life. It changed my life. It has been, it's changing everybody's life, but I think because it's so easy and it's free and it's so easy to do. And so I'll do it tomorrow. So many were like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow type of mentality. They don't do it. But once you implement it and you do, I have to do this no matter what. It's 5 minutes, and it can change how your day is going. Just like with Brynn, things you don't do it, you skip. And you're like, why is today so bad? You're like, oh, I know.
All right, ladies, I want to share Brynn's bio. So we could just talk about this like the whole time, right? But Brynn is a networking and business building genius. From motherhood to millionaire status, she is the queen of balancing home and hustle and helping others do the same. Known for her real talk and focused online business building strategies, her skill set is multiplying successful mompreneurs across the globe. She's an international speaker, equipping high-level network marketing teams to turn their badass business strategy and make a difference online and at home. When you and your team are ready to accelerate, Brynn is your best next step.
I get some whoop whoops.
Right?
Whooper.
Awesome bio. That is an awesome bio. The whole thing lots of stuff in here. Motherhood to millionaire status, queen of balancing home and hustle. Let's accelerate. And how did you get to be the queen of all of this, Brynn?
Well, I really love the direction that this whole conversation has been going, because like I said before, intentionality is one of the things that I teach the most, because I have had did I freeze? You guys all froze.
No, we can see you.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I got started actually in network marketing 6 years ago. And like most people, had no idea what I was doing, right? I was a full-time personal trainer at the time. And so I worked crazy hours, and there was just no more hours in the day. And so at the same time, I'm trying to raise a 5-year-old and run, 2 restaurants. And so I got presented with network marketing, and to me, I started thinking time freedom. You hear this term, time freedom, right? Well, what I found over the years of building my network marketing business was that I had no time. It every day got longer and longer, to the point where I was working from like 4 o'clock in the morning till midnight. I wasn't having a whole lot of time with my family, and it all came to a head a couple years ago, on just this summer day where my son was home with me, and he was sitting at the kitchen table, and he was drawing, and I was on yet another 3-way call, answering questions. And this lady had 5 million of them, and I'm trying to answer all the dings on my phone at the same time. And my kid keeps trying to show me his drawing, and I snapped at my kid. And I remember looking directly at him and saying, River, stop bothering me. Your mommy's working. And my kid just fell on the floor, bawling, crying, looking up at me. And he just said, Mommy, you don't even love me anymore. You never spend time with me. And it hit me like the biggest punch in the gut. And I knew that I needed to figure out how I could still build a business, but also really truly have what I was seeking, which was time with my family. Because I'm time motivated, I'm impact motivated, not money motivated. And so it was at that moment that I started, developing now what I teach is how to be super intentional, both with your business and also with your family. Because most of us who are very driven, we have this need to always be progressing, and to always be doing more, and to always be, going. And what most people realize is they lose what matters to them most in the process. And I almost lost that. And so now what I teach is I teach intentionality. I teach consistency. I teach one foot in front of the other, progress over perfection. But to be building a business at the same time as being very, very intentional with the time that you spend with your spouse and the time that you spend with your kids. And there is a very specific way to do it so that you can still grow in both.
Oh, I like that. Talk about being vulnerable, right? Like who would be able to say, listen, that was not a good mommy moment for me.
But we can all relate.
Exactly.
Like
Every one of us
yes,
can relate.
yes.
As soon as you said that, I like, my kids are all out of the house right now. But I can instantly go back to those times. Stop bothering me. I'm trying to get this done. What did I just say?
Yeah. It was one of those moments in my life. I can't say I'm so glad that it happened, but I really can, because one of the things that I realized many times in life is some of the worst things that we go through end up being the biggest blessings, right? And that moment ended up being the biggest blessing in my life, because it taught me how to really, truly be intentional with my family and building my business. And it gave me a platform to speak to every other mother on the planet, and then be able to teach them how to do the same thing. And so from that one moment, that horrible, horrible moment in my life, I've been able to impact thousands and thousands of people and teach them that they don't have to build a business that way.
Well, and what a blessing to your son, because he was able to say these words that, who knew what the consequences would have been. And you could show him that his words have impact, and that that you can ask forgiveness, that you can make a change, that mommy's not perfect, right? But mommy's trying to be. Like what a pivotal blessing in his life as well, to be able to have you react and respond in such a profound way. And because he said that to you, you are now changing other little boys' lives, right? Like, I think that's just beautiful. It's just this beautiful blessing. And yeah, we all need a wake up call, I think, sometimes, right? We just kind of just are going. And like it's an emergency, but not an emergency. What God uses, right? Like, here's this crisis, but it's not really. Like, I just need to get your attention. And he did. And now look at what you're doing. So there's moms right now, right? They're homeschooling like they never had to do before. I mean, God bless them, right? Like, how are you like, how can you pour into them today, Brynn? What would you say to those moms that are just at their wits' end?
Yeah, the biggest thing is don't beat yourself up, man. It's hard for all of us. We're all just trying to figure things out every single day. One thing that I like to teach people is to always be analyzing backwards. And I do this at the end of every day. Like, it's funny that we're talking about morning routine, evening routine. Every night when I lay my head down on the pillow at night, I just ask myself 3 questions. What did I do that was good today? What worked? What did I do that didn't work? And how can I improve it? Right? Both in my personal life, in my business, but always analyzing backwards, because when we do that, then we can move forward and make, better decisions. And the biggest thing that I found that especially women, we're so hard on ourselves, we get stuck on this cycle of guilt and shame. If we're working too hard on our business, we feel bad that we're not paying attention to our family. If we're paying attention to our family, we feel like we're not doing enough in our business, right? And the biggest thing is just stopping in the moment and saying, you know what? I had a great day with my family today. Tomorrow I'm going to work more in my business. Or I had a great day in my business today. Tomorrow I'm going to spend more time with my family, but not beating ourselves up, because at the end of the day, we're all just doing the best that we can. And if we can just keep analyzing backwards, then we can keep getting better in both every day.
I remember when I had twins, and I remember going to the pediatrician. I was worried about them eating, like they weren't eating enough, and I was worried about it. And she said to me, she's like, Angel, like, not every day is going to be perfect, right? Like, just, over the course of the week, if we could just, kind of get through it, look at it, not day by day, but over the course of the week, did they eat? Right?
Eat this week. Okay, you're good.
Right? But it was one of those, moments where not just in that, but in everything. Yeah, not every day. Just as you said, Brynn, today was heavy over here. Tomorrow I'll balance it out. And it doesn't have to be completely perfect and balanced, but over the long haul, like over the stretch, we can get there. And I love this. I wrote it down. It happens at the speed of awareness.
Yep.
Right?
That's your next month's theme.
Right. My next month's theme, right? You said, what did I do? What could I do better? Right. At the speed of awareness. Now I'm solving for that. Now I'm adjusting and making that happen. Okay, ladies, I have to recognize our sponsors before the end of the show.
This has gone by so fast.
It really has. You guys have been dynamite. And
Brynn, you have a lot of people listening to you, saying whoop whoop. Brynn,
yeah, I gotta get them whoop whoop.
and it's happening, right? Like, I love this. This is a fabulous conversation, and I think it's just, kind of even just where we are at, right? I'm making this big shift. I'm taking these leaps and seeing these big shifts and changes happening like right in front of my eyes. It's like watching this little movie clip play in front of me of what's coming. And it's a big change, right? I've been here, been comfortable, been familiar. Anyways, let's talk about our fabulous sponsors of the Angel and Tina Morning Show. Thank you to Brynn and Kathy, because it's your conversation. You're being vulnerable, unscripted, coming on to share the bright start to our morning is what makes the morning show so special. But we're also so grateful for our sponsors. Bliss by the Lake Boutique, our clothing sponsor. Tina's dressed in some fabulous Bliss by the Lake wardrobe today, as well as I am. Check them out on their Facebook wall. And remember, ladies, they ship anywhere around the globe. Zandra TV Network, we are digitally, globally on-demand streaming on 7 on-demand digital networks, thanks to the Zandra TV Network. If you've got a podcast content, ever thought about hosting your own television show? Schedule your discovery call by going to beonztv.com. That's beonztv.com, and start your affordable global marketing experience today. And if you're just feeling overwhelmed, like, when am I going to do my little bookends? How am I going to get it all done? Well, don't. Hire a VA or a team of VAs. Sonic VA wants you to do what you do best and then hire out for all the rest. And you can hire your own virtual assistant and get 10% discount off your first 40 hours of service when you mention the Angel and Tina Morning Show. Go to sonicva.com, SONICVA.com. com. Those are our sponsors. These are our guests. Kathy, how do you want, like, what are you most excited about coming up, and how do you want people to connect with you?
The La Femme Salon. You see my cheeky dog. I know, not enough attention. So that's one of the things I'm thankful for the pandemic is perfection has gone out the window. But the thing that lights me up right now is what I've created, La Femme Salon. It's 10 weeks to find your fire, freedom, and fulfillment. It's a 10-week, it's almost like an incubator. It's kind of this retreat, if you will, to come right into that process we were talking about, to get clear on your vision, to recognize all the old stories we've been dragging around. It's like repacking your house, you get to let go of the old stories. Up until now, that's what happened, but it doesn't define who we are in this moment and who we choose to be, who we're becoming next. So it's a powerful thing. Groups are forming. Actually, this week I've got a little taster for that. It's called Your Big Bad Beautiful Life Planner. So I've got 2 freebies. I'll put a little link to that. But yeah, just emotional release work is what I do.
almost need like how you have those things you listen to, mantras, not mantras, meditations,
yeah.
right? Is there a moving one, like to say, it's okay to let it go, right? I would usually watch like those cleaning.
You just need to have Marie Kondo over to your house. Does this bring me joy? No. Does
Oh,
this bring me joy? No.
That's what I would do, is I would binge watch some episodes of like cleaning house stuff, because it gets me in the mood. I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. So I need like, some kind of like clearing, packing out.
Well, there's
meditation
a new a show on Netflix. Oh shoot, now I forget what it's called, but it's all about like organizing.
Oh, I saw that.
What is it called?
I can't remember what it's called.
But it's I watched one the other day, and they did it, or a whole closet, and I was like, oh. Because, you guys know I have like 200 pairs of shoes, and my shoes are all like color coordinated, and that's what they did. They color coordinated all her shoes and her handbags. I was like, oh.
So Kathy, make sure that you go into the Angel and Tina Morning Show on Facebook, and in the comments or in all the watch parties, put your contact information. We really want people to be able to connect with you.
Yeah. And I'm easy to remember. It's thevitalitycode.com. So it's all about bringing vitality.
Okay, fabulous. How about you, Miss Brynn? What are you excited about? What exciting project are you working on, and how do you want our audience to connect with you?
Yeah, well, you can definitely come and follow me on my Facebook page. I give a lot of free content out. I love to help mamas build a business, but still not sacrifice their family time. I do have a free gift for those of you who are on here that are in network marketing. It is my Badass Academy tracker, and this helps you not only be consistent in your business, but intentional in all areas of your life. And you can get that at thebrynnlang.com/tracker. And that may be enough for some of you, but if there are those of you out there who really need the accountability, who really need somebody to walk side by side with you, you want to be a part of a group of other females who are doing the same thing, I actually have a challenge. It's a subscription group at thebrynnlang.com/challenge, where I teach consistency and intentionality. I teach you exactly what to do in your business every single day. I teach you to show up progress over perfection. So if that sounds like something that you are looking for, you can connect with me there.
I love it.
That's one of my mantras: progress over perfection. I use that a lot in my quotes.
You do? I think that's beautiful. Look at our little mic droppers. All of our little mic droppers.
It's such a great example. I think it's so important for us right now to be very intentional with who we surround ourselves with. So joining a group right now, I think, is more important than ever, because we are subject to so much negativity and divisiveness right now. So when you can find like these power hour, these chickie doos to raise your vibe, like, how's it get better than that?
Agreed.
Oh, I like that. Our chickadees.
This is really cool. Well, Tina, I know we have the Connect Summit happening today. This is our 8th event that we have been able to put together. And Kathy, you've watched our entire story, right, from beginning to end. Tina was at the airport. She had just gone out to California to do all of her branding, get her signature talk already. And then all the events just started getting canceled.
And I was like, oh my God,
what are we gonna do? Like everything I was just got myself ready for this, and now everything's shutting down. And we pulled 28 speakers together within 10 days, like from idea to launch.
And the funny thing is that idea went from, we had like, because I was waiting, I was at the airport like way early. And it took like 2.5 hours of going back and forth texting. Okay, what should we call it? We should call it this. Oh, that sounds good. We should do this. Who should we do? And then all of a sudden I see Angel going live. Hey guys, Tina Torres and I are canoeing a Connect Summit. Who's interested in becoming a speaker? Before I even got on the plane, she goes, we have 45 people who want to do it.
That's fantastic.
It was insane. And so we narrowed it down, did it over 2 days, and we've been doing almost every month ever since.
We decided that 2 days was too much.
Yeah. Okay. So let's back it up. And in fact, just yesterday, Tina was talking about not the November summit, the December summit. I've already put my first speaker on our December summit.
Well, yeah, because our November summit, I think it's already full.
No, I actually think we have I think we might be a little over.
Yeah.
So we'll have to go through and see who is really.
We have to have Brynn and Kathy on one day too.
Yeah, if you guys connect with us, we'd love to have you as speakers on our summit. We do that every month. Of course, if anybody is launching, if you've got a book, a program, an app, a movie, something you want to launch big, we've got our Tickled Pink Media launch package. We book you on a virtual book tour. Of course, you get to launch it on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. If you want to run a bestseller campaign, all of that, we've just created this great little hub of resources of other people's audiences, people who have podcasts, people who have stages, who have events, they're looking for speakers. I think we now have almost 200 podcasts and stages that are all kind of in our little sphere of influence to book you on, right? To go and do those virtual tours. Our magic formula, of course, write your book, and then 2 interviews a week and 1 press release a month. Right?
And we talked about God winks, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 year ago in September, 1 year ago, Angel and I met for the first time. In December, I decided to join forces with her. In March, we decided to start the Connect Summit, and in April, we started the Angel and Tina Morning Show. Wow. And then now, a couple months ago, we started the Tickled Pink media marketing package. So it's those little, you never know who you're gonna bring into your life. That's going.
And we met at an event that was like, it was a bummer, like of an event, and we're like, oh, like what are we doing here? Like we flew out, like it was this bummer of an event, and then this bummer of an event. When you look back at the mosaics, right? All these little random, seemingly random things, and now they've just created this very pink picture.
We are all just both tickle pink,
right? Very, very pink picture.
But I wanted to highlight that, just like you said, it's so powerful because I think a lot of women, we're power forces, and women will not act until they feel confident that they can have success. And it's amazing because the story I heard is that you started this morning show with just thinking it was going to be 2 weeks. And who could have foreseen, like you said, God's got the big perspective. He's got the mosaic pieces. I love that metaphor. And for us, it's just, again, I want to give another permission slip. Act before you know how the heck this is going to come together, because look at the magic. This is incredible. Thank you for sharing this story. It's inspiring.
Well, and then Sarah Zalecki was on our show last week, and she said to take inspired action, just to go, say yes, just jump. No matter if you have the fear, just do it.
Take inspired action. I know we get like all these little quotes and stuff.
We get all these. We should do a mic drop book, like all of the
quotes, right, from all of our guests, right?
Our guests.
We really should.
If you guys want to join us today on the Connect Summit, you guys can still do that. It is free to attend. We will drop the link below. I am Tina Torres, your client retention expert, otherwise known as the gratitude specialist. And if you're struggling with building your audience or finding the right clients or even retaining those clients that you already have, I have a complimentary guide that'll help you grow your audience organically, online and offline, connect and nurture those relationships authentically, and then take those relationships and turn them into paying clients. And you can grab that free guide if you text the word connection to 26786. That is the word connection to 26786. If you guys are interested in our Tickle Pink media and marketing package, you can text the word angel to 26786, and we will get you going with that. If you're launching a book, if you're launching a course, if you're launching a podcast, or even an app, or we have done movies, just text the word angel to 26786. Join us today for the Connect Summit. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern here in 1 hour. In 1 hour. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. We're so grateful to you, our audience, for being our loyal fans. To you, our guests, thank you guys so much for coming today. We hope we brought a bright start to your day, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Fun.